Good evening, Word on the Curb podcast family and friends. Thank you for joining me here this evening. I tell you, what is the weather doing? Let me ask that question. What's going on with the weather out there? Sheesh. I'm telling you, it's making me nuts. It's driving my sinuses crazy. Happy to be here with you this evening. And I want to remind you that life is short. Do your thing. Whatever you do, just be happy in it because it passes by so quickly. It really does. Water, juice, wine, or tea, whatever you choose. Drink it and hydrate. Eat fruit. Moisturize your feet, hands, and face and mind your business. The business that pays you. Hey, Frank and Christina Sasso ran up on a lizard, did you? I warned you. My producers, they don't listen. They want to hang out in the wild and go camping and be out there with the bears and the deer and whatever. It's what they like. I mean, Christina likes the winter. Go figure. And she's my friend. I don't like the winter. I don't want to be cold. But hey, you're at Word on Curb podcast. My name is Annette. I want to shout out Elisa Robinson Carter and Sakina Iman, two great caterers in the Mercer County area. If you haven't touched them yet and experienced them, get with them. I promise you, you won't be disappointed. So, we do this anonymous letter. And the week before, we did generational curses. And as a result of that, we had an anonymous writer, Just Call Me Tim, write in and talk about it's never a stranger. It was his father. He came back again. Tim came back. And Just Call Me Tim came back. And his letter reads, and I'm reading it, Hey, Word on the Curb podcast. I feel like I left you hanging last week. Well, not really. I think you did good. I shared something heavy and I didn't want to leave it there. I want to talk a little bit about what it feels like trying to get back to life after the abuse, which for Tim, who is anonymous, it was his father. The truth is, the pain doesn't disappear, he said. The memories don't vanish, but neither do you. He said, neither do I. Recovery is slow. It's lifelong. Some days are harder than others, but I keep going. Keep going, Tim. I'm learning how to laugh again. I'm learning how to enjoy small things without guilt. And little by little, I'm remembering that survival is not the finish line. And that was the name of the podcast tonight because of this letter. Survival is not the finish line. And it's not the finish line. I just want to elaborate a bit on that because you have to push beyond the just getting through. You do. And I know that's what he means when he says, I'm remembering that survival is not the finish line. That's pretty deep. A lot of people don't yet have the courage to share their story anonymously or at all. So I salute Tim again this week. Just call me Tim. I salute it. And he said, here are some of the things that is helping him to hold on. He said, Finding safe spaces where my truth can breathe. I like that. Finding safe spaces where my truth can breathe. Taking joy in small wins that remind me that life still has light in it. Because learning is from the cradle to the grave. Even, excuse me, even if it means learning how to live again, learning new things, learning to be yourself, finding yourself. It's from the cradle to the grave. It doesn't end. And although a lot of people would like you to believe that they're all grown up and they have it all together, they're still learning. Whether they accept it or reject it or not, they're still learning. I'm still learning. And sometimes I'm shocked by it. I really am. So I get it, but I'm still learning. And I know I'm going to learn from until the grave. I'm going to learn. Whether I choose to learn, whether learning is as a direct result of life experiences or my behavior, I'm going to continue to learn. And you will too, just as Tim is talking about. He said, speaking my truth so that the weight of silence doesn't crush me. He said, that's where I am right now. And so my response, Tim, thank you, because remember, Tim did not ask for help. He said he's already getting that, surviving the abuse of his father. And Tim doesn't live and never has lived in this area, just to be clear. Our podcast goes across the 50 states. And although you don't see the numbers here, you'll see the numbers eventually, when I post them, the stats, right? People watch the podcast. Tim is not from this area at all. So, Tim, thank you for reaching out. Thank you for providing your truth. Thank you for talking about safe spaces. Thank you for speaking your truth, right? And thank you so much for talking about, finding a place where you can breathe. Because sometimes things hit us so hard. Abuse, generational curses, because that's what the podcast was about 2 weeks ago, and a host of other things. But things hit us hard and they come at us hard, and it's not always easy. It's not going to be easy because life on life's terms can crush us if we let it. Because we're all going to have good and bad experiences, every single one of us. I want to thank Tim again for coming back, because what he said is so real. Survival is not the finish line. It's really not. It's not. And learning and readjusting to life is not easy for us in good times. Imagine what it must be like for Tim and people like Tim who have suffered abuse, incest, physical abuse, mental abuse, emotional abuse. And I want to ask you a favor of the audience, listening now and later. Please stop calling people narcissists. None of us are in a position to diagnose people. We can talk about how bad they act when it concerns us and what we experience, but we're not in a position to diagnose people. A narcissist is a very challenging person. And just because you had a difficult time with somebody and they acted silly doesn't mean they're a narcissist. It just means they were acting silly and acting bad. So please, mind your manners. And if you're not a doctor, don't diagnose. So readjusting and resetting is from the cradle to the grave, right? We talked about that. And it's okay because that's the way it's designed to happen. From the cradle to the grave, we learn. We continue to learn. We have to take time We're human. You know, we're doing this thing for the first time, right? We're living for the first time. Even though some of us think we've been here before and we may have been, I don't know. I'm not in a position to say yay or nay, but we're actually living for the first time. We're going to make mistakes. People are going to make mistakes. Things are going to happen. And I hope that many of you who have suffered abuse, generational curses, whatever they might be, that you'll be brave enough to talk about it. But only if you're ready to recover. And obviously, Tim was. And he got the help he needed. He didn't ask for help. And so we just have to take our time. We got to protect our hearts and our mind, and cover ourselves and keep living. That's what we have to do. And everything that we experience in our generational curses, living life on life's terms, showing up on the job with those other people. We have to protect our head and our heart and keep living. We do. We have to protect our head and our heart. And so tonight I want to thank Tim. I want to thank my producers. I want to remind you that all of us, somewhere along the line in our childhood, we've had some trauma. There was no perfect childhood, no matter how we frame it. There were good ones, there were in between ones, and then there were bad ones. But there was some trauma, some drama, some experience that we need to get rid of. We need to deal with. Every single one of us. That's right. Remember that. I want to thank you for joining me here this evening. My name is Annette. I'm your host here from Word on the Curb. Frank and Christina Sasso, get out of the woods. For crying out loud. And don't send me any more pictures of lizards. Yeah, deal with it. Whatever it is that's hurting you, deal with it. I was talking to a niece who is going to be a practicing and licensed therapist today. And we were talking about behaviors that present themselves as a direct result of avoid negative behaviors. Get in where you fit in. But if you want to do better, you want to feel better, you want to act better, deal with the things that hurt you. Thank you, Tim. Just call me Tim. Thank you. You guys are welcome to send anonymous stories. We're not going to try to identify you at all under any circumstances to wordonthecurb29@gmail.com. We'll read your story. And if you ask for help, we'll provide the resources and offer our experience, strength, and hope. Good night. Thank you for joining me.